Emilia Clarke's hair has been dyed blonde. The walls of Winterfell are having repairs / being rebuilt for the long night and the approaching Night King. And then also, Bryan Cogman has officially stepped in to write one of the Game of Thrones prequel spin-off series, or the pilots that are being filmed at least. Let's discuss all of this plus more. Okay, so Emilia Clarke dyeing her hair pretty much means nothing more than Game of Thrones Season 8 is officially going to begin filming. Now, I don't think that because she's having her hair dyed blonde, that means she won't be wearing a wig next season. She definitely will. Her hair is a little bit too short to pull off the full, like, the gorgeous Khaleesi, you know, all of the amazing features that we love about Daenerys' hair. I don't think that Emilia Clarke's hair is long enough to pull that off. What this could mean is that she's just signifying that it's the last season. You know, she wants to do something crazy, and in doing something crazy, she's finally dyeing her hair blonde. Maybe she's wanted to do it for a while now, and the last season of Game of Thrones ever, she wanted to do something special for it. Now, what this could mean, and it's kind of a tinfoil theory, so go ahead and slip on those caps if you will. In the novels, when Daenerys steps into that pyre, into Khal Drogo's funeral pyre, and the dragons are born, her hair actually is singed off too, and she's bald until it grows back. So, now what this could be is that she's riding on the back of Drogon, and maybe Viserion's flame is so hot, and since it's not controlled by her magic anymore, it actually does singe off her hair. Like I said, slip on the tinfoil caps. Most likely, it's just something special that Emilia Clarke did to signify that this is the last season of Game of Thrones. While we're on the subject of Daenerys, I actually did a video, a collaboration with another YouTuber, which you can actually click the link right up here to go check that out. But in that video, we basically talk about how Daenerys and Jon Snow's relationship is going to be affected once the truth is revealed. Now, one thing that I didn't mention in that video, I kind of touched on a little bit. I mentioned that I think that they will be able to conceive a child. But one thing I didn't take into account is obviously Daenerys thinks she's barren, but more so the fact that Jon Snow is a fire white. So yeah, he does have that magical Targaryen sperm, but what the hell does that mean now that he's dead? You know what I mean? Is it like super special now because he's technically almost like a phoenix? He was like reborn, and you know, that could maybe the fact that Daenerys is supposedly barren and Jon Snow, you know, is like an undead fire white reanimated by fire. Maybe the fact that he is reincarnated like that will make it possible for him and Daenerys to conceive. Now, I'm not sure of the logistics, but it would make sense that if you have two people that are somehow broken, when they come together as a whole, they might fix each other. So Jon Snow being an undead fire white and then Daenerys being supposedly barren, maybe this is what's going to make it possible for these two to conceive a child. Real quick, there's a theory that's been floating around that's been gaining a little bit of weight. It came out several years ago. You know, basically someone noticed that when Daenerys remembers her childhood in the books, she remembers a big red door and then a lemon tree outside that door. Now, a few years back, a fan wrote a letter to George asking him why Daenerys remembers seeing a lemon tree when there were no lemon trees in Braavos, and they would more likely grow in an extremely sunny environment like Dorne. Now, because of that, people came up with this crazy theory that Jon Snow and Daenerys are actually brother and sister, like Daenerys is Rhaegar Targaryen's child. So I don't necessarily know if this is true, but I think it would be interesting if they somehow made this, like alluded to the fact to this on the show, and it would make even more of history repeating itself, because Jon Snow's name is Aegon, and technically he just banged his sister. If this theory is true, he banged his sister, so he now has a sister wife, and that would make, you know, even more of the Targaryen restoration, like even more of a thing. I definitely do not think that this theory is true, but nonetheless, it's still fun to speculate. Let me know what you all think down below in that comment section. Did Jon Snow just bang his sister? Is he officially Aegon the Conqueror 2.0? Now, I know there's going to be a lot of comments down below about incest, so I'm just going to make my thoughts super clear in this video. I think incest is wrong, and I think in Game of Thrones, in Westeros, the Westerosi society, they think it's wrong as well. But this is a make-believe TV show. Jon Snow and Daenerys Targaryen are destined for each other, so it honestly doesn't bother me too much. It's just the way that they edited all of that together in the season 7 finale that gave me a bit of an issue with it. Like, they just announced Jon Snow's parentage, and then they also announced that he's sleeping with his aunt. So the way that was lined up, it was a little bit too much for me. But just to be clear, not a big fan of incest. Westerosi politics, you know, they're not a big fan of incest as well, but it's a make-believe TV show, so honestly, who gives? Now, this next news for Game of Thrones Season 8 has actually been brought to my attention courtesy of winteriscoming.net. You can actually click the link down below in the description, and that'll take you to the article directly so you can peruse it for yourself. Okay, so in this article, it mentions that Bryan Cogman, he's a pretty famous director at this point, but he actually started off as a story aide or like a personal assistant kind of to Dan and Dave back in Season 1. They let him write one of the episodes, and then he kind of just worked his way up. So If that's the case, and this is true that he's going to be like the official 5th prequel writer, judging on his history with HBO and Game of Thrones and Dan and Dave and all that, and with George himself, I think his prequel will likely be, you know, the most likely one. What I would like to see is us to get 2 prequels, but I don't think that's the case. I think out of all 5, we'll most likely get 1. I would like to see them take multiple, you know, writers in some of the writers that they have working on these prequel series, have them work together on the official pilot, because then that means it'll be so much better and more likely to be picked up by HBO. I do think HBO is going to pick up at least one of these, but I don't know if they'll pick up all of them. The fact that we have Bryan Cogman working on it, it's sort of like an inside hire, and sometimes those are the best types of hires for this kind of scenario. I mean, just think about it. Who better to work on a pilot than the person who, you know, wrote the episode Cripples, Bastards, and Broken Things, and then also wrote Kissed by Fire, The Lauds of Gods and Men, the one with Tyrion's trial, and then most recently Stormborn. So it's almost like a match made in heaven, the fact that they decided to bring on Bryan Cogman. This dude was actually known as the lore master in the writer's room in Game of Thrones, and basically anytime they wanted to make sure, you know, something jived with the story overall, this guy was the one who, you know, cleared it. He okayed it. So basically, he knows more about the novels and more about the history of a Game of Thrones and a Song of Ice and Fire than Dan and Dave themselves. So if we have someone like this on the helm, or like, you know, leading along with George R. R. Martin, the god himself, then this spinoff is going to be amazing. Dare I say even more amazing than Game of Thrones itself? Okay, I may have gotten ahead of myself a bit there, but just think about it. You know, if we have all of these, like, awesome things that are going to be going along with this pilot, it does have the potential to be even greater than Game of Thrones. One thing I'm most excited about is that I'm going to have a career after Game of Thrones Season 8. Like, I'm going to still continue to be able to make YouTube videos on Game of Thrones. Let me know what you all think down below. Do you think Bryan Cogman will be an awesome addition to having a new Game of Thrones prequel series, or do you think that he may hinder it a bit because he may bring in some bad habits that he learned from Dan and Dave? I honestly am not really afraid of that too much. I think him working with George is like, kind of like, it's almost like you have the hand of God working with you. Like, you can't go wrong. You know what I mean? Like, anything George writes or puts down on that paper is going to be in canonical or in canon with his A Song of Ice and Fire universe, with the universe that he built. So with him having that hands-on of a role, it's almost like they can have anyone working with him. Okay, not anyone, but someone like Bryan Cogman, that's definitely the best choice. Like I said, let me know what you all think about this new collaboration down below in that comment section. Real quick, I want to take some special time to thank George R. R. Martin, and also, if you're watching this on September 20th, it's his birthday. So make sure you guys all go all over to his Twitter, you know, spam the crap out of his wall, tell him Sir Hunt sent you of House Hunts, you know, ours is the Hunt. Make sure you tell him happy birthday. You know, without him, we wouldn't be listening to this video right now, and we wouldn't be experiencing some of the greatest moments in television history at all, if it was not for this man. So make sure you go wish him a happy birthday, and let him know House Hunts sent you. Okay, and for this last news, this was actually, you know, it's a few days old, but it was brought to my attention by Watchers on the Wall. The link to that article will be down below in the description as well, and you can go check it out for yourself. So apparently the Money Glass set in Northern Ireland, it's like this little village where they film all the Winterfell scenes. The 2 towers that guard the main entrance to Winterfell are actually being completely reconstructed from the bottom up. Now, it could be because they were just destroyed by the Night King, but more likely, this is going to be everyone in Winterfell, everyone in Jon Snow's camp reinforcing Winterfell, making it harder to fall by the Night King. Now, you know, spoiler alert here, I guess, if you want to call it a spoiler alert, according to the early on Season 8 plot leaks, Winterfell will be attacked, but that's not, you know, that's not necessarily a spoiler thing because we already knew that was going to happen. Like, most likely, the last hearth will be taken out. All of the castles that are more northern than Winterfell will be taken out, and then Winterfell will, of course, be attacked. I'd like to see a battle early on at Winterfell, and what they could be doing here is showing you, like, first episode of Season 8, everyone in Winterfell is going to be repairing battlements and making it more prepared for the long night / ready for a solid defense against the Night King. Now, you know, these construction projects happen almost every year, so this is like on par for the Money Glass set. But I think, honestly, with these towers being built up the way they are, and you know, that's the entrance to Winterfell, this pretty much means that Winterfell will be, you know, experiencing some sort of battle. And I think that what this could be is it could very well be them repairing the damage of the after the effect of the Winterfell castle being attacked. But with this early on, like, they haven't even started filming yet, that's most likely not what's going to happen. Most likely, it's just them setting up, you know, like, we're not going to see everyone in Winterfell actually building it. So what they'll likely do is show them working on it, and then, you know, maybe in the next episode or in a later shot in that same episode, we'll see it completely finished being constructed. Now, I don't think it's going to take very long to do this project, and I think we'll likely see it completed the very first episode we see, the Winterfell set. Reason being is because Winterfell has a crap ton of people there already, and now Jon Snow, Daenerys, and all of Daenerys' armies are going to be making their way north. Now, we were given a few shots of some grass huts a few weeks back, and I think that these could be, the Dothraki setting up their camp outside of Winterfell. Like, everyone, obviously you want them to be inside Winterfell, but that's not going to be the case, and I don't know if some of those troops will even be able to make it inside once the Night King starts attacking. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that these are being repaired because a battle has already taken place? Like maybe Cersei Lannister has pulled like a double whammy on them, and when Jon Snow and Daenerys left to go on a ship, she immediately started marching some of her armies north to maybe try to seize Winterfell. Now, I don't think she's going to be that cruel, and I don't think she's going to be that stupid, but you all let me know what y'all think down below in the comment section. Do you think they are bracing for the long night, or do you think the Night King has already attacked Winterfell, and these are maybe, some of the survivors that were left, maybe they're rebuilding? And I don't think that once the Night King attacks Winterfell, I don't think that there are going to be hardly any survivors. I think the only people who are going to survive are our main characters, or most of our main characters. Let me know who you all think will die in this attack on Winterfell down below in the comment section. Now, I know, my thoughts are very jumbled in this video, and the reason being is because I'm extremely excited. Like, this is like some of the first official major news for Game of Thrones Season 8, and they are going to start filming within a few short weeks. Once the official Season 8 filming schedule kicks off, videos will be coming out pretty regularly because news will be coming out regularly. But until then, and even afterwards, since we're in this off season, make sure you have your notifications turned on so that way you get alerted every single time I do a Game of Thrones video on that Season 8 news, and you can stay up to date. Now, these videos wouldn't be possible to make, if I wasn't given news from such awesome sources such as winteriscoming.net and Watchers on the Wall. The two articles that I used to make this video, they are linked down below in the description, and if you want the latest and greatest news like breakneck speed, and super fast, make sure you go check out those two websites. I will be starting a traditional Game of Thrones Season 8 prediction series. I kind of already started off with House Stark. I talked about Jaime Lannister a little bit, and then I talked about Arya. But I kind of did a Jon Snow video and Daenerys. Technically his name is Aegon, and we got to start getting used to the fact that we have to start calling him Aegon. Jon Snow is actually what he'll always be referred to as, I'm quite sure. But I think I think we do need to start calling him Aegon because that's his name. But either way, I want to continue on with that House Stark prediction series, and what I want you all to do is let me know down in the comment section who do you want me to cover next. I've kind of already touched on Jon and on Arya a little bit. So the only two options would be, Sansa or Bran. Bran is technically the three-eyed raven. Bran died that night that he became the three-eyed raven in the cave, but still, he's still a member of House Stark. So you all let me know down below who do you want me to cover next for my Game of Thrones Season 8 House Stark prediction series. I would like to thank my sponsors over on patreon.com. Without you all, these videos would not be possible. Super special thank you to Lise, Beth Anderson, Mario, Terry, Rocketman, King Wolf Dom, Peter the Noble, David Gray, Evan Paul, Alexandria Queen of Maine, Helena Von Leinstein, Belladonna, Cater Tot, Juliet 402, Elder Flores, Enid, Justin Stone Diaz, Darton, Marilyn Miller, Queen Moni, No Beard the Pirate, Maddie Tharp, Fred Wicks, Amberlyn McKay, Sammy Elmer, Joe Swag, Angel, and last but certainly not least, Lynn Shaw. Without y'all, those videos would not be possible, and if anyone watching this right now would like to become a sponsor to Sir Hunt's Reviews and show your support, all you have to do is click the link right up here or check the link down below in the description. I want to thank everyone so much for watching. If you could please slap a like on this video, the like goal will be 150. Go ahead and subscribe, and then make sure you have your notifications turned on, so that way every single time I drop Game of Thrones content, you get alerted. If you would like to be entered into my contest for once we reach 30,000 subscribers here on YouTube, and you can win this lovely mystery Funko Pop figure, all you have to do to enter that contest is like this video, leave a comment down below, subscribe to me here on YouTube, and then hop on Twitter and follow me. My name's Mark, and this has been Sir Hunt's Reviews.